taking a look at the brand new Joola Bright Scorpeus Pro 4. But before we dive into the review, or the kind of review is what I'm calling it, well, let's dive into the history of the Scorpeus with Joola. So first up in the Joola Scorpeus lineup, we have the original CFS version. And this one came out in 2023. Then the following year, you have the Scorpeus 3S, which came out in 2024. And then the newest one, and the one that we're gonna be focusing on today, is the new Bright Scorpeus Pro 4, which just came out not too long ago. All right, so here is the Pro 4, which I'm not really like super in depth on all the like swing weight, all the upgraded technology. I basically take a look at what these companies put out on like their websites and things like that, and that's what I go off for the most part. So I'll typically just go on my computer, take a look and see what the website is saying. So I'll just go directly to Joola's website. I don't want to spend a ton of time on the actual specs of the paddle. I'd rather give you guys like what I like to call like the feel of the paddle, what I think of it when I'm actually playing it on a court. But if you see on Joola's website, so it says that we have here the carbon friction surface, a 14mm core, average weight coming in at 7.9, paddle length is 16 inches, paddle width 8 inches, grip type is that white Field Tech grip, which is actually really nice on this one. And then the grip length is 5.25, so a shorter handle size, and then 4.125 on the grip circumference. So like I said, when I originally wanted to do this idea of reviewing this paddle, I got it from somebody off of Twitter. Someone asked me to review it. And so today I'm going to give you a more, I guess, my thoughts of the paddle while I'm playing, and also how I set it up and how I think it can play for you, and also if you should buy this paddle or not. And I also want to give a huge shout out if you're looking for a really in-depth review of like the swing weight, the twist weight, all those different things. Definitely go check out all the big time pickleball paddle reviewers. There's guys out there like Pickleball Effect, Pickleball Studio, Pickleball Pursuit. All of those guys are going to give you a really in-depth review if you're into that like techie kind of side of things where they're giving you all the in-depth stuff. Here, I'm just gonna give you how I think the paddle plays when I'm out playing. One thing that I think is really important to let you guys know is how I set this paddle up to make it play how I technically want it to play. I think that's really important. I know a lot of people do reviews and they don't put anything on the paddle, no weight, no overgrip or anything like that. But for someone like me, I want a paddle to play how I think it should play if I set it up the way that I normally set paddles up. So I'm gonna show you guys how I set this up real quick and give you a breakdown of like the weight and everything like that. So when I first got this paddle, I originally set it up with, I don't know the exact weight that I have on here, like the actual amount, but it's about a strip of pretty thick lead tape that goes from right at the bottom of the throat to just like the corner, the bottom corner here. And then that's on both sides. I believe it added like 0.2 grams or something like that. And I played it originally and put the white tape around it, which is just your typical like electrical tape, and then put a Yonex overgrip on it. And I think the paddle came out to being like 8.3 to 8.4 ounces. And I played with it for probably 2 to 4 hours and really wasn't liking how the paddle was hitting. It just didn't feel like it had any like plow through, I think is what they call it. So I added an additional like skinny piece of lead here. This stuff is way lighter than the stuff that's on the bottom. I added that here and then there on the paddle as well. And the reason for doing that is because, like I said, the drives and the serves originally weren't feeling like there was anything behind them. I had to swing really hard to get the ball to feel like it was actually going anywhere. I will say that the Scorpeus 14mm comes out of the box really poppy with a lot of power, but for someone like me, I had to add weight to it and get it to, I think I'm playing it right around 8.5 right now, and it's still honestly needs a little bit more weight, I think. But now it's time to head over to the courts, get out of my office and go play some games with this thing. I'm gonna go play for about 2 hours now over in Northern Kentucky at the Pickle Barn is what it's called. I wanna show you guys what it's like to play with this thing out in the court. I think that gives you a really good idea of what this paddle can do, how it plays, and actually see people out on a court using it. I hope all the information that I've initially gave you has helped you guys like understand the paddle a little bit more. Like I mentioned, I'm not a full-blown paddle reviewer by any means, but hopefully in the future we'll put out some more of these videos and give you guys an idea of what the paddles that I'm using. All right, folks, we have made it to the Pickle Barn. I am a member at, it is a members only facility, but they do have a court that is outdoors, and then we have 2 indoor courts as well, which is really cool. But here's the outdoor court. I am waiting for my buddy to show up. We're gonna drill before the 2-hour session tonight, and then before that, he isn't here yet, so I'm just gonna hit on the wall and I'll do a little bit of commentary. I'll try to do commentary while I'm playing as well. And then after those games, I'll give you guys a breakdown of what I thought about the games, and then also what I think about the paddle and if you should pick it up. All right, like I mentioned, drilling on the wall has helped me immensely when it comes to hand speed. So for this wall, you gotta stand pretty close because it is wood instead of, sometimes I'll hit against the concrete wall, which is better than this, but I've been doing this a lot with this Pro 4 in my basement to try and get used to just the pop off the paddle. So this paddle is extremely fast in the hands, even with all the weight that I added to it. I honestly think I could add a little bit more and get a little bit more out of the, like for drives and the serve specifically, get a little bit more out of it. But for now, we'll just play it as is. Typically, if I'm doing wall drills like this, start out with some like forehands, like 10 minutes of forehands, 10 minutes backhand, 5 or whatever it is, and then switch over to, you do a dink, speed up, reset if you can. That one was kind of bad, but so then speed up, reset, speed up. Oh, that was too high. All right, lefty madness. Let's go. You. No. You. Oh, almost had it. 0-0. Jesus, I got so lucky. That dink was so bad. I got so lucky. 102. Oh, that's so good. That's so greedy. That's a nasty dink. That was nasty. No way! That. Challenge. 1-1. You. 2-1-1. Dude, thank you for taking that ball though, because
I stood back here and I should have ran up because I didn't think the ball was going over. Nice serve. That's crazy.
4-2.
Great ball.
5-1-2.
You. Ah, nice ball. Gotta move my feet better. It's gonna be inside out and he wouldn't have had it.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I was in your way. You, me, you. You. No, I thought I had that one too. Did I just get everything back?
Wow.
How did it back to back like that? All right, paddle's feeling pretty good though. That's all right. Out. Dang, what a run they just went on. Oh, it's out. 5-8-1. Nice ball, dude. All right, 6-8-1. Oh, I ran up on it too quick. No! Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have sped that ball out, my bad. Yeah. There we go. Out. Dude, I hit myself in the glasses on that dink. All right, I'm good.
7-1.
7-8-2. Thank you. 8-8-2. Out. See? 982. Oh. Good leave. Yeah. 981. Oh, I finally missed one.
92.
No! Sorry. I didn't counter good enough. Oh, that's so lame. I'm sorry. Nice playing. Good comeback.
All right, folks. It is the next day after playing the games with the Joola Anabright Scorpeus 14mm. Hope you all enjoyed the games that were played yesterday. We had some really good games. We had Connor, Dan, and Michael. And Michael and Dan are both lefties, so tons of stacking, tons of switching, tons of great points. But I really hope you enjoyed watching those games. Hopefully I'll put a few of those in there so you can get an idea of how the paddle actually plays. But I mentioned that I wanted to give you guys an idea of if you should buy this paddle or not, or if this is for you. Now for me, that's really subjective in the sense of if you like a wide body, can you deal with the shorter handle that this has? There's a lot of things that go into paddles these days. Now if you're somebody that's already been using a wide body, you enjoy that, you can deal with the shorter handle. And then the other thing too is handle the popping power that the 14mm provides, then this might be a paddle for you. I kind of want to go over the different sections of the game and how I think of the paddle and what I feel about the paddle, especially after playing the games that I did last night. So we're going to start at the baseline with the serve. I think out of all the things that are great about this paddle, for me, this paddle lacks in serve the most. I feel like I can get the ball quite deep on the serve, but it doesn't feel like there's very much like plow through for the serve. Maybe that's just like how I serve, or maybe that's it could be me possibly, but maybe with a little bit more weight added to certain areas, it might be better. Now the next thing that I want to go over is going to be the drives. And this is another thing that I have struggled with the paddle here. I don't know if it has to do with the shape of it, the length of the overall length of the paddle coming from an elongated, I was using the Perseus before this. It takes a lot for me to shape this ball, but yesterday, I think it was Connor who mentioned it. He said, your forehands look a little flatter than they normally do. And so I tried putting a little bit more topspin on the drives, and towards the end of the play session yesterday, they started actually working out pretty well. So I think it was more just like a technical thing. But I do think for me specifically, the elongated is a little bit easier for drives as opposed to this one. But it's something that I can work on and probably get used to pretty quickly. Making the way to the drops now. Drops feel absolutely amazing with this thing. There just feels like there's so much space on the face of this paddle to actually make the ball do what I want it to do when I'm dropping. I think the backhand roll drop is probably one of my best shots across my entire game, and that one feels the most comfortable with this paddle. The forehand drops have taken me a little bit of time, but I'm starting to really get them dialed in and feel really confident of like rolling them and getting them to drop in the kitchen pretty well. Overall for drops, I would say this is a really good paddle, and there's a lot of area on this paddle face for you to have a little bit more margin of error, I would say. Resets with this thing feel really good. Resets are probably one of my top parts of my game, I would say. So if you're in that mid-court or even up at the net, it's really easy to reset the ball with this thing, especially if someone's hitting the ball really hard at you. I kind of just sit there on the backhand side for me, and the thing just will drop back over pretty easily, which it does take a little bit of time if you're a newer player to get used to the control on a 14 millimeter specifically. But if you can get a good play session in, a few of them, and get used to that amount of power that you're gonna get from this, then the control will come, I feel like. Next up is going to be the dinks, and I think this is probably the second best thing about this paddle. The dinks right now, I don't know if it's just me, but the two-handed roll dinks feel amazing if I'm playing on the left side. Forehand roll dinks feel really good on the right side. I think it just goes back to like how I said there's just so much space with this paddle because you have the wide body here. There's a lot more room for you to, like, the sweet spot's pretty big on it for the most part, and so it's pretty easy to, if you even miss hit the ball in a dink or something like that, you should still get a decent dink out of it. I feel like I have way less like dead dinks up at the line. And then I would say the number one thing about this paddle, and one of the best reasons to use the Scorpeus 14 millimeter, is the maneuverability up at the kitchen line. It is absolutely insane. I don't know how many of the games will show how many of like the gets I get from going from like a speed up to then getting it back, but up at the kitchen line, even playing this paddle at 8.5 ounces is so fast. Like, I feel so quick to counter, I feel so quick to reset, switch between forehand and backhand. Just the maneuverability that you have with this type of paddle and the amount of space, like I've mentioned multiple times, is just unmatched. I highly recommend, if you are somebody that is looking for a paddle that's really maneuverable up at the net and easy to use, this is definitely one that you should check out. Now, these paddles are $279, which is really, really pricey. I will say too, I do think there is a break-in period for these. That's just me like taking, like, just based off a feel of playing with it. When I first got this, it felt stiff off the face, and now it has a little bit more, to me, it feels like there's a little bit more dwell time, and the ball is actually sitting on the face of this a little bit more. It was really prominent in the Perseus that I was using. I could definitely feel it, but this one I feel like is finally getting, after, I think it's been 10 or 12 hours now that I've been playing with this thing. So you could definitely feel that it's changed a little bit from what it originally was, and at that $279 price point, a lot of people, that's a really expensive paddle, and to have to be buying these over and over again or however often. I go through paddles quite a bit, but hopefully not with these. I haven't had any problems with like delamination or anything like that with this one specifically. So for me, the $279, I can justify spending on it if I'm going to use it for quite some time, and it'll last long. I guess we'll see with that. But yes, I would definitely suggest this paddle to anybody that's looking to pick up a wide body paddle with the Gen 3 construction, or Gen 4, whatever they're calling it at this point. But I just want to thank you guys all for tuning in, checking out the video, watching the games, and checking out the review. I possibly will do more of these in the future, maybe switch up from different Joola paddles and try some different stuff. But if you do enjoy playing with the Scorpeus, let me know in the comment section below, or tell me what paddle that you're currently playing with, and maybe I'll check that one out. But I appreciate you guys checking out the video, and I'll see you in the next one.